Zhang Ling sat by the sunlit window of his Beijing apartment, the soft morning light casting long shadows across his desk. Scripts were scattered everywhere, yet his mind was entirely elsewhere. He picked up his phone, his thumb hovering over a familiar chat window. The digital screen felt heavy with unsaid words and shared secrets that only the two of them truly understood. Their journey had begun on the bustling set of their historical drama, where long hours and exhausting schedules blurred the lines between reality and fiction. At first, they were simply professional colleagues navigating demanding emotional scenes. But beneath the heavy costumes and scripted dialogue, a quiet, undeniable chemistry began to take root in the spaces between takes. Tian Shui had a way of laughing that could cut through the most stressful atmosphere on set, instantly making the room feel warmer. Zhang Ling often found himself watching her from across the courtyard, captivated by her effortless energy and fierce dedication to her craft. She wasn't just another co-star, she was someone who challenged him to be better, both as an actor and as a person. One evening, after filming wrapped up past midnight, they found themselves sitting together on the edge of an empty wooden pavilion. The night air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of blooming jasmine from the nearby gardens. Neither of them spoke for a long time, content just to share the quiet stillness away from the chaos of the crew. "Do you ever wonder what comes after all this?" Tian Shui asked softly, her eyes fixed on the distant city lights twinkling against the dark horizon. Her voice was barely above a whisper, carrying a vulnerability she rarely showed to the public. It was a rare, unguarded moment that stripped away the armor of their celebrity status. Zhang Ling turned to look at her, noticing how the moonlight caught the soft contours of her face. He didn't answer immediately, weighing the gravity of her question not just in the context of their careers, but in the context of their evolving connection. "I think," he said carefully, "what comes next depends entirely on the choices we make when the cameras stop rolling." That conversation lingered in his mind for days, acting as a silent turning point in their relationship. Small gestures soon began to replace formal greetings on set, a knowing glance during a chaotic press conference, a shared cup of warm tea between grueling outdoor sequences, and private jokes that only they understood. Fans, ever vigilant and deeply invested, began piecing these tiny moments together into a sprawling narrative of their own. Social media detectives pointed out matching accessories, subtle changes in their body language during promotional events, and the way their eyes seemed to linger just a fraction of a second longer than necessary. To the outside world, it was harmless speculation driven by wishful thinking. But to those living it, every shared glance carried the weight of a secret promise. Zhang Ling was no stranger to public scrutiny, having navigated the intense spotlight of the entertainment industry for years. Yet, protecting what was growing between him and Tian Shui felt different, requiring a level of care and discretion he had never exercised before. Every public appearance became a delicate dance of professionalism masking a deeply personal bond. During a live-streamed promotional event, a playful fan asked a leading question about their off-screen dynamic, expecting the usual rehearsed PR response. Instead of deflecting with a standard joke, Zhang Ling paused, a faint, knowing smile playing at the corners of his lips. He glanced sideways at Tian Shui, who was trying hard to suppress her own laughter. "Some stories," he said, smoothly into the microphone, his tone laced with deliberate ambiguity, "are far too important to rush into the open. They deserve the right time and the right place to truly unfold." The internet exploded within seconds, dissecting every syllable of his response as a coded confession of a future they were building together. Later that night, his phone buzzed incessantly with notifications from friends and fans alike, tagging him in countless edits and analytical threads. He ignored them all, focusing instead on a single new message from a contact simply saved with a small flower emoji. It was a screenshot of his own face from the live stream, paired with a sticker of a cat hiding its face behind its paws. He smiled, feeling a warmth that no public applause could ever replicate. He typed back a quick reply, asking if she was free to grab late-night hot pot away from the prying eyes of downtown photographers. Her instant confirmation sent a surge of quiet anticipation through him, reminding him of why he loved these stolen moments of normalcy. The restaurant they chose was a quiet, private booth tucked away in a dimly lit alley, far removed from the neon glow of the main commercial districts. Sitting across from each other over a bubbling, spicy broth, the heavy armor of stardom melted away completely. They talked about everything and nothing, childhood memories, future travel dreams, and the quiet exhaustion of living life under a microscope. "Do you think they'll ever truly understand?" Tian Shui asked playfully, dipping a piece of tofu into her small bowl while gesturing vaguely toward the city outside. Her eyes sparkled with mischief, fully aware of the social media frenzy her co-star's earlier comments had triggered. "Let them wonder," Zhang Ling replied, leaning forward across the table, his gaze steady and intense. "Mystery keeps things interesting, doesn't it? Besides, some chapters are meant to be read slowly, page by page, rather than spoiled all at once." His words carried a double meaning that hung heavily in the warm air between them. As the weeks passed, their paths continued to intertwine despite busy individual schedules and conflicting filming commitments. Whenever they reunited for brand endorsements or magazine shoots, the natural ease between them only seemed to deepen. Photographers frequently remarked on how effortless it was to capture compelling frames of the two together, as their chemistry required no artificial direction. Behind closed doors, however, the reality of their demanding careers cast a long shadow over their growing bond. Long-distance separations, tight security details, and the constant fear of tabloid intrusion meant that every single moment together had to be carefully calculated. Yet, these very obstacles only served to strengthen their resolve to protect what they were building. One rainy afternoon, stranded in a trailer due to a sudden downpour on location, Zhang Ling found himself sketching absent-mindedly on the back of a discarded script. He looked up to find Tian Shui curled up on the small sofa, reading a novel with her earphones plugged in. The rhythmic drumming of heavy rain against the metal roof created an intimate cocoon of sound. He quietly walked over and draped his jacket over her shoulders, careful not to startle her. She looked up, removing one side of her earphones with a soft, appreciative smile that made his chest tighten. In that quiet, unremarkable moment of shared solitude, the noise of the entire industry felt miles away. "You're working too hard again," she murmured, noticing the slight fatigue etched around his eyes. "You need to learn how to switch off, Ling. Not every problem in the world can be solved by carrying it all on your shoulders." Her voice carried a genuine concern that touched him deeply, reminding him of how well she truly knew him. "It's hard to switch off," he admitted quietly, sitting down on the edge of the sofa near her feet, "when there are so many things I want to protect, so many futures I want to make sure turn out right." He looked straight into her eyes, letting the subtext of his words bridge the gap between their professional roles and personal truths. Tian Shui didn't look away, holding his gaze with a quiet strength that mirrored his own. She reached out, her fingertips brushing lightly against his hand resting on the cushion. It was a simple, fleeting touch, yet it carried an electric reassurance that spoke volumes louder than any grand declaration could ever manage. The public speculation only intensified as the months rolled on, with entertainment blogs publishing weekly opinion pieces predicting an inevitable romance. Some critics claimed it was all an elaborate marketing ploy orchestrated by their management teams to sustain drama hype. Others, however, saw the genuine micro-expressions, the unguarded laughter, and the undeniable warmth as undeniable proof of real emotion. Zhang Ling rarely read the gossip, choosing instead to focus on the reality he and Tian Shui were slowly constructing outside the viewfinder of public judgment. They knew that once they officially stepped into the light together, there would be no turning back from the relentless tide of public opinion and media scrutiny. Preparation, therefore, became their strategy for safeguarding their future. During a rare break between projects, they managed to steal away for a quiet weekend trip to a secluded mountain resort overlooking a misty valley. Away from the flashing cameras and screaming fans, they could finally walk side by side without wearing caps or surgical masks. Breathing in the crisp mountain air felt like a radical act of freedom. Walking along a narrow stone trail winding through towering pine trees, Tian Shui paused to admire the panoramic view of the valley below, her hair catching the gentle mountain breeze. Zhang Ling stood slightly behind her, capturing the moment with his eyes rather than his phone camera, wanting to etch the memory permanently into his mind. "Could you ever imagine living somewhere this quiet?" she asked, turning her head back to look at him with a serene smile. Her eyes reflected the vast, open sky above, completely devoid of the artificial glamour of the red carpet. "I could," Zhang Ling replied without a moment's hesitation, stepping closer to stand beside her at the edge of the overlook. "As long as the company is right, quiet doesn't sound lonely at all." His words hung in the air, wrapping around them like a warm promise for the days yet to come. As the sun began to dip below the distant mountain peaks, painting the sky in vibrant shades of amber and violet, they sat down on a wooden bench overlooking the valley. The fading light cast a golden glow over their faces, highlighting the quiet contentment they had fought so hard to find amidst the chaos of their shared world. They didn't need grand declarations or dramatic vows to seal their understanding, the quiet certainty shared between them was already more than enough. Every subtle hint Zhang Ling had dropped during interviews, every shared glance on set, and every stolen moment of peace pointed toward a single, inevitable destination. Returning to the city life on Sunday night meant plunging back into the relentless rhythm of scripts, schedules, and public appearances. Yet, the heavy weight of the upcoming work week felt entirely different this time, cushioned by the private knowledge of what waited for them beyond the spotlight. As Zhang Ling stepped out of his van, outside his apartment building, he looked down at his phone one last time before heading inside. A new notification lit up the dark screen, featuring a simple photo of a steaming cup of tea paired with a smiling emoji. A soft smile broke across his face as he typed a quick reply, stepping forward into a future where the script was finally their own to write.